One of the biggest flaws of the HomePod, the Mini and the 2018 Big Guy, is that you can't plug anything into it. This expensive speaker has been limited in what it can play by what Apple allows. One of the things many people wanted to do was use their nice new HomePod as the speaker for their TV. So last year, Apple let you set the default output to the HomePod, essentially letting you use your HomePod as an Apple TV speaker. Not a TV speaker, but an Apple TV speaker. In Apple's mind, everyone has an Apple TV box, and that's all anyone uses to watch TV. So as surprising as it may be, Apple has gone the extra step and made it possible to use your HomePods as your TV speaker, which means game consoles, DVD players, if that's still a thing. Whatever you can plug into your TV, you can get the HomePod to play the audio. So how do you get this to work? You're gonna need a few things to make this happen. As of right now, this really only is enabled on the 2018 HomePod, but it's coming to the HomePod Mini this fall. You also need the current Apple TV 4K. It won't work with the first generation Apple TV 4K. You need to have the one with the new fancy remote. And finally, your TV needs to support ARC or eARC. Either will work. Usually you can tell by just looking at the HDMI port on the back, and one of them will be labeled with ARC or eARC. So you may be wondering, what is ARC? Well, ARC stands for Audio Return Channel. And this is what lets you send audio to the HomePods from, say, a Nintendo Switch, for example. Basically, the Nintendo will send its audio from the console to the TV, then the TV will send that audio to the Apple TV, and the Apple TV will then send it to the HomePod. I'm not going to get into too much of what the differences are between ARC and eARC, but the E in eARC stands for Enhanced Audio Return Channel. eARC is capable of higher bandwidth, which means it can handle things like Dolby Atmos, where ARC can't. The reason you need the newest Apple TV 4K, like I said, the one with the new fancy remote, is because both the TV and the Apple TV 4K need to have an ARC or eARC HDMI port. And as you may have guessed, the newest Apple TV 4K has an eARC port, where the first generation did not. If your TV has ARC but not eARC, like mine, this setup will only be capable of the ARC features, which basically means a more limited set of audio formats. So, like I said, in my case, I wouldn't be able to get Dolby Atmos from, like if I plugged a Blu-ray player into my TV, I won't be able to get the Atmos to play through that onto my HomePods. Once you have everything, it's pretty easy to set up. First, you want to make sure that your Apple TV 4K is plugged into the ARC or the eARC HDMI port on your TV. Then you want to make sure that your HomePod is set as the default speaker for your Apple TV. You can do this in the Home app or in the Apple TV settings. You need to have the HomePod set in the same room as the Apple TV in the Home app. So from there, you just go into Settings, Video and Audio, Default Audio Output, and you can select Play Television Audio. It should say on ARC or on eARC, depending on what your TV supports. And you may have to double check your TV settings and that the ARC port is enabled. And that really should be it. So I tested this using an Amazon Fire Stick, and I was surprised how well it worked. There wasn't any noticeable lag in the audio. Also, I didn't have to intentionally wake up the Apple TV to make it work. Once I turned the TV on and switched to the Fire Stick, the audio just worked. I was able to adjust the volume using my Apple TV remote, but there was no volume indicator when I did it this way because the Apple TV 4K displays it on the screen, and since you're not using that input, it can't display it. But my TV remote also worked, and adjusting the volume with this remote did show the indicator on the screen. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised at how seamless this worked for me. Now, whether or not you want to use your HomePod as a TV speaker is a question that you'll have to answer. For me, I like being able to combine the uses for my HomePod with my TV usage. But if you just want to get better audio from your TV compared to the built-in speakers, I'm certain there are more cost-effective ways. If you already have all the components though, I think it's definitely worth a look.